Hey, this is Chris. We are continuing in Module 2 of Digital SAT Test 1 in the math. And of the modules, so this is likely the easier module because this is the module that you get when you don't answer any of the questions in the first module. So if you missed a few more in that first module, you might be looking at this slightly easier module. If you got a bunch right, then you're probably looking at a different module. But here we're going to go ahead and dive into this question. So it says the total cost f of x in dollars to lease a car for 36 months from a particular dealership is given by f of x equals 36x plus 1,000, where x is the monthly payment in dollars. Okay, so 36 months, and that's going to correlate to this 36x amount here. So 36 months times x number per month plus $1,000. And what's the total cost to lease a car when the monthly payment is $400? So they say x is the monthly payment, and they give us a number for that. So we don't have to identify anything else in this question. They're not asking one of those conceptual ones, which we often see about slope-intercept form and which values represent the slope or the y-intercept. Here we're just looking at a value for x that we can plug in. 36 times 400 plus 1,000. And so when we do that math, 36 times 4 would give us 144. So that's going to be a 144, 2 zeros on the end, 14,400 plus 1,000 will give us 15,400 as our total, which would be answer choice C for number 11. Okay, let's continue on. We're going to take a look at number 12. The function g is defined by g of x equals 10x plus 8. What's the value of g of x when x is 8? So this is similar to one of the earlier questions in this section. And if you haven't seen the earlier ones, whenever they give you an x value that you're going to be plugging in, you just plug it in everywhere that you see an x. So here, g of 8 would be 10 times 8 and plus 8. And here, 10 times 8 gives us 80. Plus 8 gives us 88. And so that's it for number 12. So really when you see these function-based questions where they give you an x value, it's just going to be substitution. You're going to plug that number in anywhere that you see an x and solve. All right, let's take a look at number 13. So here they show us a figure, and it says in the figure, line J is parallel to line K. What is the value of x? So any angles along a straight line, if you were to look at these two angles together, they make up half of a circle. And so hopefully we know that the angle for an entire circle is 360, and half of that would be 180. So these have to add up to 180. X plus 133 has to equal 180 degrees. We subtract 133, and that is going to give us 47 for x. So we're going to plug that in to our student-produced answer on 13. So yep, the key there is just make sure that we know adjacent angles along a straight line add up to 180. All right, for 14, graph of 7x plus 2y equals negative 31 in the xy plane has an intercept at a, 0, and a y-intercept at 0, b, where a and b are constants. What's the value of b over a? Okay, so here, when you're looking for an x-intercept, we want to interpret that by understanding that that means that at that point where you cross that x-axis, that means that your y value is going to be 0, and vice versa. When they talk about a y-intercept, we want to think to ourselves that that's where x equals 0. And then we can solve for the corresponding part. So first let's plug in a 0 for y, and our x-intercept, here that x value, which they have represented with a, because our coordinates are always x comma y, so that x-intercept is going to be 7x plus 2 times 0 equals negative 31. 2 times 0 is just 0, so that part will cancel out, and we have 7x equals negative 31. Divide by 7, x equals negative 31 over 7, and x is equal to a. That's just like saying a equals negative 31 over 7. And now we can do the same exact thing for that same equation, but to find the y-intercept, we're plugging in a 0 for x. So here we would have 7 times 0 plus 2y equals negative 31. Let me real quickly just move all of this over a little bit so that we have a little more room to work. Here we get 2y equals negative 31, divide by 2, y equals negative 31 over 2. And that, as they show us in this coordinate over here, is equivalent to b. b is our y value there. So now for a over b, or sorry, b over a, all we do is negative 31 over 2 divided by negative 31 over 7. I'll put that over here. And when you're dividing by a fraction, that's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So that would be negative 31 over 2 times negative 7 over 31. Cross cancel the 31s. Negatives will multiply out to a positive, and we are left with 7 over 2. So I know I had to scrunch that in over there on the side a little bit. Let me see if I can organize this a bit better so it's easier to read. But we do get answer choice D, 7 over 2, as our final answer here. And in our next video, we're going to dive into question 50.